sunrise, summer solstice, sunset, you'll get this kind of cross shape. So to the Neolithic people, that represents 1 year. So 8 crosses represents 8 years. So this is related to the movement of Venus, because every 8 years it comes back to where it started again. And sure enough, they found that every 8 years, just before the sun comes up, Venus gives a very soft glow of illumination into the chamber and actually illuminates the triple spiral. This is a Toltec pendant which shows Venus and some sort of rays coming out of its mouth. And it's been discovered that during retrograde loops there are an increase in flu outbreaks and a lot of microbe attacks on photographs, showing that there maybe is some sort of radiation associated with the movement of Venus. As to what the triple spiral means, we've had some in the fields. This one was this year. If you put a lens over a plank of wood at midday every day and then join up the dots, you'll find that there's a tight spiral around the solstices and a loose loop over the equinoxes. That means that a spiral represents 1/4 of a year. 3 spirals therefore represent 3/4 of the year, or 9 months, or 1 gestation period. So it could be that this is the light coming in through the light box, cross-section of the tomb, and so every 8 years this thing is lit up by Venus and is connected with gestation. So you've got the winter solstice connection and the Venus connection, which may be a connection to the Maya concept of the end of a long cycle. That is the Crotalus rattlesnake, which we mentioned, and you can see that the pattern on the skin is reminiscent of the Mexican pyramids. And you can't see the Ahau symbol, but there's the rattle there. This is Quetzalcoatl in the mouth of the snake. This is a crop formation in which we had the Ouroboros, which represents cycles of time, apparently surrounding the Earth and the Moon. Snake is a symbol of Venus, rebirth, knowledge, cycles, eternity, and also the ecliptic, which is the passage of the sun and the planets across the sky. Snakes also are connected with earth energy. We have St. Michael and St. George who killed the dragon, and according to Mary Scott, who's researched into Kundalini energy, there's a lot of Kundalini qualities which are apparent in stories from dowsers about earth energy. So she thinks that Kundalini is a form of Shakti, or the mother energy of the earth. So the Kundalini energy comes up from below, while Shakti, the male energy, comes down from above. And here you can see this is the 7 chakras, and Kundalini is usually said to be sleeping in the base chakra called the Muladhara at the base of the spine, and it's said to be coiled in 3.5 loops. You can see this is the symbol for that chakra, and that's an enlargement. You can see the snake is actually coiled in 3.5 loops around the Shakti line of force, which comes down from above. 3.5 is a number that crops up in dowsing a lot. Is the number, it's a multiple of 3.5 in the spirals, which they detect in aquastats. You call them blind springs, are usually a multiple of 3.5 in spirals. So going on with the ladder side of things. Ladders have been said to represent the ascent of man from earth into heaven, and the demons, of course, here are trying to pull people off. It's also how you connect between the 7 realms, or the 7 planes of existence, each associated with the 7 planets or the 7 chakras, either connected by a ladder or by a tree, which is the world tree, the Earth's polar axis. So Yeah, going back to the last one again. This concept of Shakti coming down from above and Kundalini coming up from below could represent a spiritual wedding. Because in the concept of Kundalini, you're supposed to raise the Kundalini energy through the chakras until it meets with the Shiva. Shakti and Shiva unite in the crown chakra in a trance of ecstasy or samadhi, in which the ego is annihilated and duality ends. That is very similar to what the Maoris said about Rangi and Papa, where Rangi comes down from above and Papa comes up from below. In the Inca system, we mentioned the overworld and the underworld coming together. In the Chinese system, it would be heaven chi and earth chi meeting. In the Christian system, it's Christ descending and the bride of Christ ascending to meet him. Yang and yin, it's all the same thing, a kind of ecstatic union of known as a spiritual wedding. In alchemy, we also have a ladder in the form of a 7-step pyramid. You've got calcination, sublimation, solution, putrefaction, distillation, coagulation, and tincture. The result at the end of this process is the phoenix, which is the bird that's reborn from its own ashes. It's rebirth again. And here you have the coffin with a little fairy dancing on the top, showing that the conquering of death. And again here, the magnum opus completed is at the top level of the pyramid. In Freemasonry, there are 33 steps, 33 degrees in the initiation system. Those 33 degrees relate to the 33 vertebrae in the human spine, again showing an ascent up the spine as you go up the levels and the grades. In the Egyptian system, there was this Djed column, which represented not only the tree in which Osiris was encased, but it represented the spine of Osiris and also the polar axis. There's even in this Djed raising ceremony which they held in Egypt, there's a depiction of that in which the Djed is at exactly 23.5 degrees, which is the angle of the Earth's tilt away from the vertical. Notice the similarity between that and the Mayan concept of the pole, the Earth's pole, which also has cross beams and feathers on top of it. The spine itself has the quality of the ladder we just mentioned, but it also has a serpentine quality to it when you look at it from the side, and it connects the sacrum, which means holy bone, to the temples in the skull. So you have the 33-step serpentine ladder connecting the holy bone and the temples. And the Maya seem to have seen the sacrum as a kind of second skull. And here's is actually an extinct animal now, which they carved the pelvis into a skull shape to emphasize this concept. But also noticeable is the fact that this pelvis, this sacrum here, looks like a turtle. And there's a Maya creation myth of one Hunahpu being born from the back of a turtle. That area of the sky is where Orion is. That corresponds to what the Greeks call the Silver Gate. It's like the galactic anti-center, if you like, which is opposite the galactic center. The galactic center is in the area of the sky the Greeks knew as the Golden Gate, and they said that the Golden Gate was the gate of reincarnation. No, the Silver Gate was the gate of reincarnation, and the Golden Gate was the gate of ascension and the descent of the gods. So this is all rather suggestive because here this is where galactic alignment will occur, and this suggests a kind of, due to the spinal picture with the turtle at one end and the